Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean. I'm so happy that you have time enough to be here for some recovery. Today, we want to talk about how our mind, our thought process, fuels our addiction, or how it keeps us in our active addiction. The thing is that when we first start using, it's not an issue, it's not a problem. We enjoy it. We have a good time. And what it is that we become sociable, connected to other people like-minded like us, which we get a greater pleasure out of that situation. So we crave that situation even more. Those that are withdrawn, they drink or they use drugs and they become more outgoing and they get more attention than they normally have. They're like the life of the party or socially connected. This is in some cases. Everybody's not the same, but in a lot of cases, these are the things that happen. Or what happens is something traumatic happens in a person's life where they pick up a drink to soothe themselves, to console themselves, or a drug. And they get caught into the vicious cycle. But the thing that keeps them stuck is that the point is that they're getting relief for something that is traumatic to them, that's very important to them, to their existence. And the drug or the drink is keeping them connected to what they value the most. When a person comes into recovery program, they know that they can't associate with people that use and abuse. They have to separate themselves because they need to find their own way to feel comfortable in their own skin, enjoying life on life's terms. That means that we have to address ourselves on the things that is afflicting us mentally, emotionally, and physically. They found out that when a person stops using and be around like people, they started to believe they're not by themselves, that they're around like-minded people suffering like they are, which gives them some type of power within themselves to continue to move forward. Then they change their association from people that are using to people that are not using, that they can enjoy life, living life on life's terms, and having a peaceful life. What they were searching for when they was using and abusing. They wanted comfort. They wanted to be connected. They wanted to feel a part of. But that void was inside. Or some had a traumatic situation to cause them to get some type of relief where they use alcohol and drugs. And then that became their prison. The point is that if we address our inner selves and our faults and our failures and our mistakes, we withstand a lot of things that happen to us. We won't pick up and use. We won't run to another drug because we have a discipline to help ourselves, to make ourselves better. How do we get on this path? I had to find out that I am a very faulty person. That everybody in this world are faulty. That each day we make a mistake, whether it's a small one or a big one. But every day we all make a mistake. We may not see it right then as a mistake, but somewhere down the line, it'll come to haunt us and it'll let us know that we made a mistake. When I realized that I was a faulty person, the weight of trying to be perfect, the weight of trying to be right all the time was taken away from me. That it made it easier for me to address myself and understand myself because I wasn't looking to be perfect anymore. I wasn't looking to be right anymore. I was learning me. And the more I learned about myself, the more I corrected myself. The more I corrected myself, the more I learned about myself, which kept the focus on Robert and not anybody else. That taught me how to care for myself. That caused me to change my diet. Because my mind, I like all these good things. I like all these good things. I like this, but that's not really good for me. But when I address myself and finding ways to make myself better, to take care of myself, it's a full-time job. Then another point came to mind. If I do not address Robert, if I don't take care of Robert, if I don't love Robert, if I don't pay attention to Robert so he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, if Robert doesn't try to understand why he does the things that he does, then he's not benefiting himself. And if he's not benefiting himself, how can he help anybody else? How can you save somebody when your ship is going in the water? Eventually, both of y'all are going to be in the water. So, in order for me to be better, I must address Robert every day. It's like if I'm 100 pounds overweight and I want to lose weight, but then I give an excuse why I can't do this, why I can't do that, why I can't do that. Who is stopping me from achieving the goals that I want to achieve? Myself. Because I don't want to do the work to make myself better. When I have to do the work on Robert, it takes work. It takes looking at yourself, at your faults, correcting yourself, and moving forward with life. But that's looking at you the way you do not want to look at yourself. You want to look at yourself as the Robert's, he's dynamite, he's powerful, he's strong. And you want to project that. But it's not true. I am projecting a false image because I do not want to do the work on Robert. But when I do the work on Robert, I get better. My direction gets clearer. My understanding gets wider. My knowledge, I'm willing to learn. Why? Because I learned something that I am my worst enemy. I'm the one that holds Robert back. It's not nobody else's fault. It's my fault. I hold myself back. Why? Because I give myself excuses not to do the things I need to do for myself. But I want to point the finger everywhere else, but I need to point it back at myself because Robert is his worst enemy. And how Robert can stop being his worst enemy is facing the truth about himself. Are you willing to look for the truth within yourself? Because those who stay clean and sober in recovery look hard at themselves. They look at their mistakes. They look at their faults. They try to correct them. And they find out that they're faulty people, that they're their worst enemy. So they keep changing their behavior to make themselves better. And their life gets better. And people don't understand why you're not stressing. If you realize that you're an imperfect person, when you make a mistake, you won't beat yourself up. If a person makes a mistake against you, you won't beat that person up because you know that person is imperfect. But you will get a chance to say, well, this is the way they was looking at it through their eyes. This is why they did what they did. And you get to understand the reason why. Or get feelings and say it's directed at me. And 9 times out of 10, it comes out to be that it's not directed at you. They need to do what they need to do to accomplish what they accomplish. And this is the only way they see they can do it. It's not directed towards you. It's the understanding of the situation. It's their skills and education that they have, that they go this route to make this decision to do what they do. It's just like a husband and wife divorce. They can't live together. They divorce. The wife feels that the husband jilted her, doesn't love her, used her, wasted her time where she could have found somebody else or had a better life. And now she's struggling to take care of her and the children and fighting to get money from him so he could take care of the children. Or he's taking care of the children, but she's mad, so she don't want to see him, so she's feeding negativity to the child about the father. She's bringing her hurt into the realm of her child. And her child is soaking it up because they see their mother's pain. So they automatically have an attitude towards the other parent, which is unfair. Because when two grown-ups make a decision that they can't live together, that's their choice. That should not affect the child's relationship with either. Those who separate and say, well, we just can't get along, and it's best that we separate, but we both love you and we care about you, and it has nothing to do with you, that child becomes healthy growing up, understanding the situation. He may not understand it then, but as time goes on, as his mind develops, he gets it. But when you show mud at the child about the other parent, you're stunning the child's growth. Which causes them to act differently when it comes to relationship situations, because they already got a negative attitude about it. If a man, a young boy, sees his mama in pain, his instinct is to run to his mama and do what he needs to do to protect his mama. But also he has an attitude with his father. So when he has his family, he's in a protective mode. And insecure. Excuse me. So the point I'm trying to make is that our thinking can become a problem and fuel our addiction. The program of recovery says you must live life on life's terms. That means you need to understand yourself, why you do what you do, why you feel the way you do, and does it make sense? Excuse me. So, the points I'm trying to make is that we have to change our thinking, our behavior. When a person comes from an active addiction, living with people and associating with people that use and abuse, and things go downhill, you do the same thing that they do, which causes jails, institutions, or death. Death by overdose. Death by getting money so you can get dope. But when you associate with like-minded people in recovery, you're building a life for yourself. And those that build a life for themselves connected with people in recovery, they begin to stand firm and tall, where they can stand by themselves, where they can associate with people that have different means of enjoying themselves. It's like you can go to a family get together and there's family members or friends that do drugs. But you be there, but you don't go get high with them. You don't go in the same room with them, but you stand tall because they're all family. You're associating because this is something that the family is getting together, that they're requiring you to be there. But the program is giving you time where you built a family, your own lifestyle, and your own way of living, which you feel proud of, which gives you the power and the strength to not pick up. Because you built your life. You built people that love you for being in recovery, that understand where you came from, that you don't feel alone, that you don't feel special, that you feel a part of. And that's what you've been looking for all the time, to be a part of, to be accepted for who you are. That you didn't have to put a mask on trying to be so you can be accepted by a group of people. But in recovery, the only requirement is not to pick up and use. And people get to lock in with you. They hear your story. They say, wow, you went through that. I never experienced something like that. I got a lot of respect for you for what you overcame. Or I feel you. I've been through the same thing. We can help each other. The genuineness, the commitment, the love, that's what keeps recovery people shining. That's what keeps people in recovery. What keeps people in recovery is building a life far beyond your dreams. To love yourself for who you are. You're not trying to be nobody else. You're not trying to be better than nobody else. You're just loving yourself for who you are. You're embracing the goodness that you have. And you're correcting the badness that's inside. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. The last point I'm going to make is that even though you cleaned up the mistakes of today, tomorrow there'll be some new ones. There'll always be mistakes because we're imperfect people. Understand that. That way you won't be so hard on yourself and you won't be so hard on others. It's a point of acceptance. When you take that power and that type of feeling away and you understand that we're all imperfect and we all make mistakes, life becomes more easy, more simple, and we can understand things more. But if we think that everything that happens is directed at us, that everything, we're the sole part of everything that goes on with life, you're wrong. People make decisions based on the education and the knowledge that they have. And it has nothing to do with you. It's about survival. It's about trying to live your best life. When you understand that, you will have compassion for others because you just know that they're just not seeing what you see. They're not experiencing the happiness that you have. When I talk to people that are coming into recovery, I can feel their pain. I can feel their hurt. And all I want to do is to wish that I can just go poof, and you got recovery, but it doesn't work that way. They have to find their way because each individual is different. Nobody is made the same. You can be twins, but there's a whole lot of difference in between twins. There's some things that are identical, but there's a lot of things that are not identical. And that's interesting, isn't it? So each person is different. Each person has a certain amount of education that they achieved in their lives. A person may be brought up by one parent. A person may be brought up by two parents. A person may be brought up by the system. A person may be brought up by the streets. And each individual looks at life differently and looks and digest pain and hurt a different way. That's why recovery, everybody has to find their own way because we came from a different walk of life. I hope I shared some information that will make you pay attention to your thought process, to protect it from being negative, to protect it from everybody's out to get you, to protect yourself from hurting yourself because you feel a certain way. We all are recovering from the mistakes of our past. We all are recovering from the life choices that we've made. So remember this. In order for you to live your best life, in order for your life to be peaceful and less stress, remember this. Robert is an imperfect person and he makes mistakes. And he will try to correct each mistake he makes to make himself better. And those who make mistakes against Robert, I ask that a power greater than me restore them to make better choices. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean. Remember, you are the key to unlocking your greatness in recovery. You have a great day.